Good morning. I tried to do this a little bit ago and I thought I was streaming, but I wasn't. So that was a little disappointing, but we'll try this again. So we're in the holodeck, and basically what I'm trying to do is find a way to get some of the new tools that have been provided with the 1150 public beta run. That show up in 2D but don't show up in VR. I am a very, very, very big advocate of OVR Toolkit, and so whenever I can't get something to work in that doesn't natively work in VR, I always fall back on OVR Toolkit to see if I can do that. So what I have already done is in 2D and X-Plane, I have opened up the plugin administration performance tool and the VRAM profiler. So I'll go ahead and to get OVR Toolkit to come to life, if I on my touch controller, as I go click, click, OVR Toolkit shows up. So so now I have, let me make sure what all I've got here. There's my chat window. So, okay. Make sure, yes. Alrighty. So, as you can see, this window here, this is this profiler, and you can actually see it flicker on and off. And in my testing this morning, when I thought I was streaming, but I wasn't, these windows were flickering, and then I was like, what? Why are they doing it? My chat window isn't flickering. My I did have a mixer in here. I don't see it right now. Oh well, not that relevant. But what's really relevant is these two windows here. So what the deal is that for some reason, don't know why, they are kind of out of focus. So if I take my touch controller and just click on them, that brings them into focus. So they don't flicker anymore. And if you look over here on the plug-in one, it still isn't. But if I go ahead and click on it, it goes ahead and it comes to life. But that has focus. This doesn't. So you only can apparently have one of them in focus at a time. I don't know if this is an issue with just the way the X-Plane windows are working, because they're working completely differently than the windows. Because this window here, it's a chatty window, so you can absolutely see that is this window here brought into VR. It doesn't flicker, So I'm just not sure where the disconnect is. But no matter what, the fact that I can actually get these to work is the much more important part. And so that's kind of what I'm trying. So let me go over to the so now that I've actually clicked on this, so come on. It was working earlier. I wonder why not. It's interesting. Because before, when I was thought I was streaming but I wasn't, I could certainly click on this, and that would work. But right now, that's not working. So this isn't a complete solution unless all of this works. So let me slide this out of the way. Click on this. Click on search. Okay. I'm gonna go outside the cockpit. I'll put this over here. Maybe it's technique. Yep, appears like it's technique. There's a certain place you have to click on that. So if I go ahead and I'm going to type in VARON and then a space, capital V 5 8. Come on. Space, capital B, and capital 5 8. And then I'll do objects, BJ E C T S, and another slash, capital B 5 8. Then an underscore, shift, underscore. And then I'm going to do like seats. Yes. So when I put that search in, it absolutely works. Because I am in, because I've moved these windows into VR through OVR Toolkit, I have to use the OVR Toolkit keyboard. If it was native, thank you for the follow. If it was native, I would be able to. I would use the X-Plane keyboard. So, but since that is not how I got here, then I have to use the OVR Toolkit keyboard, which is great that actually it has such a thing. So, but we are definitely this is absolutely a workable solution. So it allows me to much better kind of judge performance and to see like how well X-Plane is performing in VR, and because the number of VR users is not large. The number of VR users is growing, though. Since the release of 1150 Beta 1, Public Beta 1, I have seen a remarkable increase on the org, xplane.org, of new VR users that couldn't use VR before. That's a huge testament to the X-Plane developers. It's a huge testament to them. This was important to do, and it has made a difference. That being said, then it's very important as our numbers grow, the VR user numbers grow, to make sure that we remain on par with the tools that are available in 2D. So something that's kind of a little crazy here is that I found when I was trying to do this before. Um, when I increase the amount of stuff in the search window, the frames go down. So I actually forgot about that. So I pop my keyboard back out again. So I'm gonna get rid of numbers. So I'm still at 36, 36, 36, 36, 36. And now it went to 50. That's crazy. I don't know why that's true, but it's true. So it was around 38 with stuff in the search window. And actually I can just put, let me just put like 19 in there. That's what I was testing before. So heck, I'm actually 16. So if I put a 9 in there, that went down to 39 or 40. So if I go ahead and I get rid of it, back up to 60, between 50 and 60. Got no idea. Got no idea whatsoever. I just know that that's what I kind of stumbled on when I was doing my my first attempt at this. Excuse me. But so let me see if I can figure out what's going on with this guy. Pull him out of the way. Oh, okay. A lot of it's technique. When you're using a touch controller, it's not the same as a mouse. So a lot of it is absolutely technique. So yeah, you just don't know. You don't really know where the click spot is. Is the click spot this whole thing? So let me. No, there was just something crazy going on about it. So, but the point is that all this works now. So yeah, that's kind of like a guarantee down below there. So yeah, so that all is like working. So my tool, and you can see like over here, you can see that that's well. I'm not sure in the stream you're going to be able to see it. That's the other crazy thing about streaming. In in VR, like especially when I stream VR Linux. Actually, when I did do VR Linux, there is if I move my head fast back and forth like this, I'll call it double vision because if I move my head towards the right, there'll be a second image to the right. However fast I turn my head, that's how far the second image is from the first. When I do it to the left, same thing. The faster I turn it, the further that second image is. And further, I mean in just a few centimeters. Centimeter and a half, 2 centimeters, not much. Not much. Enough to be annoying, but not much. Stop your head. The image is crystal clear. No stutters, no nothing. It is clear. I got no idea what makes that happen, but it is only in VR Linux. I don't see it anyplace else. I hear lots of talk about stutters. I wouldn't call that a stutter. That's double vision. That's something different. Don't know what it is. But you know, but that's kind of yeah. So like right now, and that's what I would have expected. Is if I look up and actually I'll go. So we're on clear skies. So generally, if I see clear skies on a valve index in Windows, I should see 60 frames a second. I should absolutely see that. Now, we'll go bring some clouds in. So, over here, let's bring some clouds in. Let's go to broken. You can see the clouds come in. You can also see the decrease in frames. This is a good test. So what are we doing here? We're bouncing around 45, 50, and I'm like not in a cockpit. I'm just kind of sitting out here in the tarmac, and with objects around me. But we're at a really lightly. This airport is not dense at all. It's got some hangars over here, but it's not too dense. But that's the difference with that I see with the valve index. With a valve index for clear skies, I'll see 60 frames. And actually, let me. So I went to broken. So broken is pretty overcast. So make sure. Yeah, broken. Okay. So we'll go to scattered. So it should go up a little bit. Yeah. So it's from 50, 55, somewhere's around there. Let's go to, I think the next one's Cirrus, I think. What's the next? Yeah, Cirrus. The Cirrus are pretty, yeah. There's blue sky, there's clouds, there's blue sky, there's clouds. But, so that's from 55 to 60. So when we go to clear, it should be 60. Yep. So now it's 60. And why is it 60? It was always kind of, when I got my valve index, I was kind of curious, like, what changed? Well, this is how, I don't know how to, I'll just explain it, my understanding. And let me actually get there. Yep, video settings. So, nope, not video settings. I think that was another follow. If so, thank you. And sounds good. I'm not seeing. Yeah, that sounds great. Cool. I was a little lost when I was over here. I couldn't see my chat. So video settings, controller. Thought I could get there from here. So basically, yeah, I think I can. I just got to play around a little bit. So basically, that's up a little bit higher than what I had it before. That's kind of interesting. I had it at 100%. So that's up a little bit. That's kind of, I find that interesting. So if I close, oh, what I was trying to get to is here. So my headset is set at the refresh rate in hertz is set at 120 hertz. And so it is, so basically, so if you look at it, and normally it'll be around 60 here. So normally it's half of that. So it's 120 total. So that's 60 hertz per eye. And at least that has how I have understood it. Return the game. That's how I have understood it. And like I said, on a clear day, it is exactly that way. And on cloudy days, as I had demonstrated earlier, there is an impact. I don't know if I've ever seen it below maybe 40 or 45 frames. So it would have to be like a really, really bad day. And generally I fly GA VFR. So I don't fly IFR. I just I want to see the scenery I'm flying in. So I tend not to do that. And so because of that, I always, on whenever I am streaming, I will have a frame rate of, somewhere between 45 and 60. And that all legitimately changed with my Valve Index. I had a Vive Pro before that, and I would I would struggle to keep 45 frames on the same computer. I don't know why, but it was dramatically different. And but once I got the Valve Index, now it's night and day. And this was all, and I basically had these frames since I got my Index, and that was before actually Vulkan. I mean, I'm in Vulkan right now, but that was before that. So as far as that part of it, Vulkan didn't improve that part. What it did improve is the smoothness. It is unbelievably smooth, So that part of it is dramatically different, So okie dokie. So let me grab this guy, and now that that's all I need to do is just highlight it, and so the flashing goes away, and so it all like looks. I'm quite happy, quite happy, and because I couldn't believe it this morning. I get done streaming, I'm looking for my VOD on Twitch, and I'm like, it's not there. I'm like, because I looked before, they said I had 36 videos. And then I looked and it said I had 36 videos, and I went, how'd that happen? Oh, well. So I tried to tried to understand it a little bit better, what the heck was going on. So, so I think I'm going to see if I can get the OBS Studio, because I think I've covered pretty much what I wanted to cover. I just wanted to show that I can bring these tools. So the VRAM profiler, basically any, pretty much any of the X-Plane tools, using OVR Toolkit. I'm using the current beta of it, and I don't know if there's an about around here or not. I haven't quite found it. But I am using the current beta of OVR Toolkit, and that's how I bring these windows in. So it has been OVR Toolkit is absolutely, whenever I'm streaming, I have to mention it more than once. It is the best money I've spent in VR. It absolutely is. It has allowed me to bring all kinds of things in. Oh, I wondered where my mixer went. It's over my head, But the advantage is that in a VR environment, you never run out of room to put stuff. And the cool thing is that, so let me go over here by this light. I'm over here in the grass. The cool thing is wherever I go, all my windows come along. I don't stay back in the cockpit; they come with me. And where the regular native VR windows will tend to stay, they're basically relative to the cockpit. And where these windows here, they're basically kind of, they're in proximity of your headset, but as you move your head, they don't move. They're fixed that way. I don't know how that works, but it works. And so if I right now decide, okay, so I'm going to go back in the cockpit. So now all the windows are still around me, but they're in the cockpit, or I'm in the cockpit. And so that's pretty cool to have these kind of tools in VR. Is when I started flying VR, we didn't have any of this stuff, and it's just been a lot of fun to watch the progress. I started my VR experience Native VR come to explain a little over almost 2.5 years ago now. It come on Christmas Day, and I kind of like my where I learned a lot about VR is writing a plugin called Xstatic Panels, and so I ended up being the author of Xstatic Panels, which is a multi-platform, so Windows, Linux, and Macintosh. My plugin was the interface that allowed people to use Xplane with a SATEC, radio panel, switch panel, multi-panel, and the backlit information panel. My plugin allowed that to happen over the course of, it's been around for some period of time now. So, understand that's my background. So when I seen Native VR or heard about it, and on Christmas Day it got released, and these people are like, the people that had VR headsets at the time, they're like raving. They're going, man, this is really, really cool. And then I'm thinking, if I get hooked on this, the panels that I have around me will become useless. But I just kept hearing the reports, and these people were happy. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll bite. I'm a Linux user, so it was important to me to go ahead and pick a headset that would work with Windows and Linux. The Linux to this day is a very rough experience, but it is something that I continue to pursue. And there's an airplane that's going to taxi right through me. Oh, maybe it's not. That's too cool. So, going to taxi in front of me. Well, maybe it is. Nope. He's a little too close to me, so I'm kind of blocking him. So I went ahead and I says, nah, I'm going to have to order one. So I ordered a Vive, one of the original Vives, and my birthday is on the 9th of January, so on my birthday it gets delivered. Kind of like it's like an omen. So I had the Vive for about a week, and I was using the default Cessna 172 with the REP, Reality Expansion Pack add-on. I didn't appreciate how realistic that add-on is. I wanted to take off, and so I did not allow the engine to warm up. I took off. I was about 1,000 feet AGL, so I'm pretty far up in the air. As I'm climbing out, like at 1,000 feet, the engine stops. I could hear it cough, and then bang. Look, prop just like now. The prop's right straight in front of me. Stopped. I was like, oh. I have 109 hours in a real Cessna 172. I am a former student pilot. My training told me that you fly straight ahead if you're in a real airplane. I am not. I am in a simulator. So I decided, what can we do? I made a left-hand turn and a real gradual turn. Didn't want to stall, but I needed to get the runway underneath me. So runway here at Erie is 8,500 feet. If I could get any part of that runway underneath me, I can land a Cessna. I did a slow turn, got the runway underneath me, did a land. Actually, better landing than at the time a lot of mine were. At that point in time, it was so realistic, and the resolution wasn't that good on the original ones. But I never ever flew on a 2D screen again, on a flat screen. No, I only fly in VR because the realism outweighed any of the coarseness of the displays. I have a Valve Index now, so I get lined up a little bit here. Ain't quite lined up yet. Yeah, that's about right. So I get these windows out of the way. How I judge whether VR is good enough. I fly GA. I fly GA VFR. If I can glance at a heading indicator and I can tell the difference between a 3.3 and an N, a 3.3 and a 30, a 3.3 and a 24, if I can just glance at it and tell that I'm in between 3 and 6, okay, I'm good. I'm good. I mean, I can clearly glance at the airspeed indicator and know what it's telling me. To me, that resolution is good enough. The same notion, can I glance over and tell what the frequencies are on the actually, just let me just turn it on. Turn the power on, turn my avionics on. So it's 121.00. Yeah. Let me lean in, make sure. It's actually 121.8. So yes, that would be extremely true. And yeah, I've flown them a little bit. I'm not that comfortable, but I have flown them a little bit. I have them in my um my hangar. I just tend not to fly them because I'm not good enough. But yeah, that no doubt about that, no doubt at all. Yeah, and like I said, so sitting in my cockpit when I looked over here, that looked like a 0 to me, but I just had to lean in a little bit to see it was an 8. So to me that's good enough. And I'll turn the power back off to so I don't kill the battery. But that's kind of what I'm trying to demonstrate is the actual day today is pretty overcast. Later on, I may actually stream, and I have the magenta text. Okay, yeah. Certain texts are much more difficult than others. That is true, and so magenta text where on the GPS or where? Okay. Um, you have Fly with Lua? Then you should be able to create a script so that you would basically replicate that in a more readable format. So you just have a little window. I'm in my default uh, install, and so I don't have that available to me that where I could show you. But I have made like just little windows to for certain things like that. I've flown the SP-30, the Russian ultralight, and its heading indicator is or no, it doesn't have a heading indicator. It has a compass. It is hard to read. So I just made a little window with that, with the airspeed, something else I put in there, the engine RPM, and so that I can so it's much easier to read. But you could absolutely do that, and that would work. So it's the cool thing about Fly with Lua is that you can make a script that'll work in 2D, but it'll work in VR too. I mean, that is the coolest thing. Yes. I not sure if you're aware, but I am the current head of development of Fly with Lua, and through a very good friend, Falco, we got Fly with Lua to work in VR, and that was the best thing we ever did to Fly with Lua. It is so much fun now, so that I can like do all kinds of things. So but so pretty cool, but awesome. Well, I think I've done what I want to do because I didn't plan on planning. Yeah, the current version is 2.7.22 NG, and that's I would recommend that. Yes, I'm also that too. Yeah. Yes. Co-author. Me and Michael. Michael's my friend from the Czech Republic, and we've oh yeah, yeah, same thing. Like I said, when I got kind of hooked on VR, we couldn't have plugins in VR, and yeah, I kind of like them separate myself, but there are people that want to do that. So, but when VR first when they said they were going to allow plugins to be in VR, my goal was to be the first plugin in VR, and X-Checklist was that. So that was how I cut my teeth on getting plugins to work in VR. That was the tool that I used. So, and actually it worked out pretty well, and it is I like how it turned out. It turned out pretty good. So it's a little when you use let me think here a minute. You find the tool. So if you use this tool, this performance tool, get out of here. So if you use this performance tool when you look at X-Checklist, you'll see that it's a little bit hungry on frames. And so I started like looking at it. What the deal is that it is or it appears to be. It appears to be the default. We're using like the default X-Plane APIs to display the graphics. And with Fly with Lua, we've added a different API that's called IMGUI. IMGUI is it uses a lot less of the frames, and so because of that, I've been looking at maybe I need to update X-Checklist to use that, but time will tell. But when you look at it with this particular window here, this plugin admin window, you'll see like at least on my system, it'll use 6 or 7 frames. X-Checklist will. The amount of frames it uses is related to how big the checklist is. A real small one will use about 2 or 3. A bigger one will use 6 or 7. So it is different compared to how big the streams are. Yeah, a lot of people use it for that. Absolutely, that works out pretty good. So cool. Alrighty, I think I'm going to call it a day. Well, at least I'm going to end this stream. So, you got any more questions, Crash? Oh, no problem at all. No problem at all. Yeah, I streamed this earlier, and but the stream didn't work. So I was kind of, I was a little disappointed. So whenever I can, I will shove this over to YouTube, because I have a bit of a following there too. So it's kind of cool. Come on. For some reason, my when I end up streaming, my OBS decides it's going to disappear on me. So it ends up down over here, over in this this area here. And I did happen to notice when I tried to close it the first time I tried to stream, I didn't have a red icon on it. So it normally like has a red icon on it, and I see it does now. So, and the fact that I can interact with chat means I'm actually streaming. So, alrighty, guys. If anybody, we're good for right now. So I'll go ahead and I'll kill the stream. And thanks for the participation. This is the best part of streaming. The interaction with chat is why I stream. Sometimes I don't get anybody. Other times I do. And when I do, I will interact. There is no doubt about it. I have started streaming VR Linux. I would not stream VR Linux until I had a chat window working. And now that I do, now that I'll stream, not regularly, but I will stream in Linux VR. But it was until I got a chat window working that I wouldn't stream it for that reason. So, alrighty. Hey, you guys have a great day. It's been fun.